What's up, guys? Sorry about that. I think I got a little carried away with talking to you guys in the chat and forgot that I was supposed to be clicking a button to make this actually go live. So let's go ahead and dive right in here. So for those of you that do not know, so obviously you can tell by the title, Paco Miranda is my guest tonight. So Paco Miranda of Paco Miranda Pythons. I had the pleasure of meeting Paco at my first Arlington show, which was my first NARBC this year. And he's just a really, really smart kid. Like from the very get-go, right as soon as I met him, I liked him, and I could just tell like he had tons of questions about this, that, and the other, and which I always appreciate because I'm the same way, and just like asked everybody's input for things, and you could tell that he was really thinking and really just taking in everything that he was doing, and like I said, that kind of stuff just goes a long way with me. So it was a lot of fun, literally meeting somebody, and then 5 minutes later, like he and I were running around Arlington together, like just ogling over everybody's snakes at the show, talking to Justin and things like that. And he kind of took me around and just kind of introduced me to people that I didn't know there. So like I said, he and I just became kind of fast friends, and I'm just really excited to share him with you guys. And like I said, he's got a really great collection, which I'll have him kind of tell you guys about. So let's go ahead and bring him in here right now. What's up, Paco?
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm not much, man. I'm doing pretty well. How was your day, brother?
Good, man. Just kind of slept most of the day. So
I was going to ask if you had to work. I was hoping not.
No, I didn't work today, but just caught up and sleep tonight. Yeah.
Hell yeah. So for those that don't know, Paco, you want to kind of tell everybody what you do for work?
So I'm actually a ER nurse here at a hospital here in Georgia. Yeah.
So frontline employee, and I know that you had last time I talked to you, we were texting, and you didn't get back to me. And you were like, "Sorry, man, I was working."
Yeah.
And so I was like, "No, I get it." So yeah, I understand the crazy hours and weird sleep schedule and all that stuff. It kind of gets to you sometimes. So
yeah, working nights has been pretty rough on me. As far as just kind of keeping snakes and stuff. I tried YouTubing a bit, and that's something I'm slacking in, but it's just hard.
Tough,
like,
man.
it's time consuming to try to make a good video, and just trying to get off in the morning, and then I have to sleep some, but you sleep throughout the day, and you just feel like your whole day's gone pretty much.
Yeah, it's tough. It's definitely tough because it's like I've definitely done it where I've come home, like back when I used to bartend, come home at like 6 a.m. and you're outside in like the freezing cold cleaning snake tubs, like in the front yard with the hose, like looking like a crazy person to your neighbors and all that. So
for sure,
but you gotta do what you gotta do. We got Jose is in the chat. Jose. And
absolutely. What's up,
down there? So we've got some familiar faces. Kathleen, thanks for popping in. I know this is a little bit before. Kathleen's got a live going up, I think at 9 o'clock tonight, and I know Cusco's live right now on Instagram. So I appreciate all you guys for being here. Seriously. So Paco, like I was telling everybody, like you've got a pretty crazy ball python collection, which I do want to get into. But before this, you were like pretty heavy into bearded dragons, right?
Yeah. That's kind of what I started with. Pretty much was like my foundation as far as just getting into reptiles. It started with the leopard gecko, and then I got into the bearded dragons, and I still have a couple, but I'm getting more into the ball pythons for sure.
Yeah, I know we were talking when we were at Arlington. I think at that point, I don't think you had any bearded dragons, right? And then while we were at the show, you ended up picking one up while we were there. You couldn't help yourself. Every time I turned around, I'm like, "Where'd Paco go?" And I'd see him over there talking. One of the breeders that he's buddies with was there, and next thing I knew, he was walking over with a new baby.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I still have a couple, but there was at one point where I had like 20,
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like a lot, but bearded dragons, they're daily.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot of work. I mean, I had one, and I got out before I reached that point because I wanted to get into breeding them, but I knew I was like, man, this is going to spiral real quick.
Yep.
And even taking care of one, it's just a lot of prep, and I'm sure like there's a limit in there where it's like one is X level of difficulty, and like 3 is probably similar in the sense of like it's not actually that much extra maintenance or that much extra work, but when you get into like 15 and 20, which happens fast with those. Yeah, because they produce like crazy, right? They'll do like 3 clutches a year or 4 clutches a year, something like that.
They can triple clutch. They can definitely triple clutch. And funny thing is I bred a female that I had, and up to 3 clutches is what they can give. But then a fourth clutch came.
That's what I was gonna say. I knew I'd heard of like fourth clutches before.
And then a fifth clutch came. So I was just
Oh
getting
my
overran.
God.
Yeah, like that never hardly ever happens. And it gave me 50 clutches, and they can range from like 12 eggs to 30 eggs. So
Yeah.
that just adds up super
Yeah.
quick,
Yeah. I was gonna say, I know I had heard numbers of people like producing like over 100 in a year from one
easy.
female. Like that's
Yeah.
that when I realized that, started kind of doing the math, I was like, I don't think I don't think I want to breed these things, because it's like, even if there was just a handful of breeders out there, like I feel like that's enough to cover the market. And that's not to say like the market's not big,
Mm-hmm.
but that's just a lot. That's a lot of commitment, I think. Like I still worry about that even with ball pythons. I'm like, man, I don't want to. I still worry sometimes that we're going to reach a point where we're overproducing, but I don't see it coming anytime soon.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not that guy that's like the market is crashing.
Yeah.
I think there's certain stuff that probably should be dialed back on. Like the lower end stuff, like the single gene stuff, is probably gonna, it's gonna reach a critical mass at some point where it's just there's not really that many people buying it. But it's hard to say. I don't know. There's always new people getting in. So
yeah, pretty much, man.
hell yeah. So remind me again, how old are you? I don't even know if I've ever asked you.
No, you're good. So I'm 25 right now. Yeah.
I thought you were a little bit younger than me.
Yeah.
Good
How
deal.
old are you?
Well, so I'm 32.
32.
I'm getting old, man.
You look younger, man.
I know. I get that all the time.
Yeah.
I look like a baby.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining. Trust me. You kind of got the same thing going for you. So we're going to be doing it right in about 10 years. We'll still be looking good.
Yeah.
So let's kind of dive in. So as far as ball pythons, because I'm sure that's what everybody wants us to hear us talk about. You've got a pretty killer collection.
Thanks,
as far as I recall, like it's like I was telling people, like it's like pulling teeth with you sometimes, like to get you to talk about your collection. Like people say I don't talk about my stuff or myself enough. Like I feel like you're way worse, because like we were hanging out at Arlington, and Alyssa would be like, yeah, Paco's got one of those. Or like, Paco, you tell him about this, tell him about that. Like, and I'm like, wait, like it's just like I couldn't even begin to keep up, man. And again, you don't have to tell everybody everything that you got in your racks. But so let's start off with like, how many animals do you have right now?
Just ball pythons.
Yeah, well, yeah, we'll start with that.
Yeah, yeah. I have like 22. I would say. So it's kind of still a small collection. It's not crazy.
Right. Yeah, but I tell people, like, and I think you're the prime example of that, and I think that you'll be able to prove me right on this within the next couple of years. Like, I think that you can have a really small group of animals and be very successful. Like, you can have a really big impact if they're the right animals. If you only had 6 animals in your rack, but they're the right 6 animals, like that can, you can make some really tremendous stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think you're that guy. Like you're right there, man. You've got some pretty cutting edge stuff. So
thanks,
so what would you say is kind of your main project right now, if you had to name a gene, or even if it's a double recessive, like what are you working towards?
Yeah, so I started out, I like lavender stuff. Got into the lavender, and then everyone is liking the desert ghost right now, and I remember
it's blowing up.
Yeah, so I saw Tom Harvin when I first started getting into all this stuff. I became good friends with Tom, and he showed me a desert ghost clan. I had never even heard of it. I had never even heard it, because I was still like just getting brand new into this. And
sure, we're both still new to this stuff, man.
Pretty much,
you learn something every day.
Yeah, I'm still new, but I just through research and stuff, and I saw Desert Ghost Clown, and that's definitely a gene that I wanted to work at. So
yeah,
I ended up picking up some Desert Ghost stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Anything specific you want to talk about that you have, that like visual desert ghosts, or you have some hets, or what are you working on?
So I do. I bought a cryptic, thinking it was cryptic, and ended up being a krypton once Billy came out with that whole theory about being a Leelic and such. And it's also het desert ghost as well. So that I have that het, and then I picked up chocolate pastel desert ghost. I picked that up in Daytona. Let's see. Sorry, I'm having to look back.
No, you're good, man. You want to take something out and kind of show it?
Yeah, sure, man.
If you got it right there close.
Yeah, I do. So I actually just moved into like this room, literally yesterday.
I like that poster you got behind you.
Thanks, man. Yeah, here. This is just a. Hold on. There you go. Sorry.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Just a single gene desert ghost het clown female.
Yeah, she's beautiful though, man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got this one from Bob Vu.
Yeah, Bob's a freaking great guy, man. It was I had met him once here at the Charlotte Repticon, and like he just has a magnetism about him. Like I probably must have spent 40 minutes standing at his table, honestly, just talking to the point my girlfriend at the time was like, "Can we go talk to somebody else?" Like, but he's just that guy. Man. He's just really fun to be around. He's got a great personality. So
for sure, man.
I've got to get some stuff from him. Anybody that's not familiar with Bob Vu, if you're listening to me and you don't know who Bob is, like, I don't know what's wrong with you, but yeah, Bob's got some killer stuff. Especially he's got a ton of Desert Ghost stuff, right?
He does, man. That's that's pretty much what he revolves around. He works with other stuff as well, but he's huge into that. Desert Ghost.
That's what I've always heard. Like anytime I hear somebody talking about getting some Desert Ghost stuff from the Desert Ghost guy, like I always assume that they're talking about him. There's obviously other people, but
he's got a lot of Desert Ghost Pied stuff as well, and he's working on that and more combos to those genes as well right now.
Yeah, for sure, man. Layers and layers and layers. It's crazy.
Pretty much,
it just and just when I think like you kind of know what something's going to look like, it's like somebody comes out with something that's like just blows your mind. So
yeah, pretty much.
That's exciting.
But yeah.
So you're working lavender, you're working DG. Obviously, DG Clown is a goal. Do you have any pied in there?
I do have this girl. I just got her about 2 months ago. Got her from Justin.
No big deal.
But this girl right here. Hold on a second.
Yeah, there you go. Right there. Perfect.
So this is pastel yellow belly, leopard inchy, pied het clown female.
So pastel yellow belly, leopard inchy, pied.
Correct.
Het clown.
Yes, correct.
All right. I hope everybody heard that. Pastel inchy leopard. What was it?
Pastel yellow belly, leopard inchy, pied het clown.
I knew there was one I was missing out on.
Yeah, so, I have to look back at it myself, man.
And that's just one of the like more recent pickups. So do you have anything right now? You've got some stuff that's ready to breed, don't you? Finally, like you're or close.
No, yeah. So I've been breeding a female right now. It's an inchy clown.
I thought I'd seen some pictures that you had some stuff that was going. So inchy clown female and what visual clown?
No. So I got this male from JP. Here, I'll show you. He's right here. This is actually my first male I've ever bought. I have 2 males, and this is one of them. Let's see here. It's hard to get him out here. But this is a yellow belly fire, spot nose leopard het clown. Hold on.
Yellow belly. So again, this is why, like I told you guys, I wasn't kidding. Paco's collection's insane.
Thanks.
Yellow belly fire, leopard,
spot nose het clown.
Spot nose het clown.
Yeah.
That's your male.
That is my male. Yeah, that is.
And that's going. He's being bred to who?
That inchy clown female.
And it's a visual clown female.
Yes, correct.
Awesome.
So it's kind of
crazy, man.
When I saw this male, it kind of it looks like he'd be a visual clown. I don't know if you can tell on the head stamp.
Yeah, that crazy head stamp. And spot nose is like that, man. I feel like spot nose, because you say spot nose and leopard.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, I was gonna say spot nose leopard. They almost do have kind of that clown head pattern. And then I feel like once you do get clown, the spot nose leopard clowns, like the head stamp, it's almost like it gets cleaner, if a little bit. Like I don't know. The black
absolutely.
dots that they have are just a little bit more like smaller, like tighter, I think.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. At least just from what I remember seeing. But well, that's a hell of a, and that'll be your first female to go. Fingers crossed.
Yeah,
right?
Hopefully, man. Last time she was still building follicles.
Okay.
I don't have an ultrasound, but Alyssa from Full Throttle Reptiles, they live about an hour and a half, and she's been kind enough to ultrasound her for me, and just kind of go from there.
Yeah.
Hopefully they take.
See,
They've
man,
been walking. Yeah,
I love that. Like and that was the other thing I think that I enjoyed so much about Arlington was, obviously I went out there and you picked us up from the airport, which was great. And just the kind, you guys have kind of a little family, you know what I mean? Like between you and Alyssa and her husband and Tom and his wife, and there's a few others. It was just like all kind of sharing a space there at the show. Like man, it was so enjoyable, and y'all just kind of brought me in and just, like I said, treated me like I had been there all along, and that was a lot of fun, man. I think you would agree. I think you're pretty lucky to be surrounded by some pretty awesome people, right?
Yeah, man. So like I'm new to it as well. Like just kind of like you, man. I don't even know how I ended up, going to a show with them. I know, I talked to Tom previously. Then
Tom's just that way, though, man. Tom
Tom's
just
Tom's a class act, man. Just everything about him, it's just one thing I'll tell you, when I was getting into this whole hobby, I'd go to Repticons and stuff, and I didn't know too much about ball pythons, but I was always interested in it, and when I was in college, like, every college kid is broke, so I go and, speak to vendors and stuff, and I made it kind of known, like, I can't afford this right now. And just like that alone, like they just kind of brush you off, and quit talking to you, and I still had like questions and stuff, but I get it, they're there to sell their products and stuff. But, then I came across Tom, and, I kind of same thing. And I made it like known that, I can't afford this right now, but I'd like to have something like this one day. And dude, that didn't change the conversation one bit, man. Nope. He talked to me like a good hour and a half, and, that I think that just spoke a lot about him in that sense, and that's why I just have such a good friendship with him.
Yeah, Tom's a great guy, and I'll tell you too. Just to kind of ring home what you're saying. Like, it was the same way with me, man. Like his wife almost literally at one point had to come tap him on the shoulder because I wasn't there to buy. I mean, I had flown into Arlington just to hang out, and so I mean, even if I had bought something at the show, it was gonna have to get shipped. And same thing, I spent all my money just to get there, but I was just there for the experience, to meet people and everything else. And again, Tom knew that, but literally he and I got stuck into a conversation in the middle of the show on Saturday afternoon. Like the show's picking up, people are coming in, and his wife's over there trying to field everybody's questions and help all their customers. And he's over there literally just like grinning ear to ear with his mustache, just leaned onto his display cases, just chatting with me about I think we were talking about Auburn football, and we were talking about hognose, and we were talking about Ultramel versus what's that
Monarch.
Yeah, is that what it's called? That Monarch,
Monarch,
I guess, whatever. But no, we were talking about Monarch, Monarch versus Ultramel and stuff, and just man, like literally, he is not in it for the money. To say the least. I mean, he just has a true passion for everything that he's doing with snakes, and for animals in general. Obviously, most people probably know Tom's a vet, by profession or by trade, however you want to put that. And he went to Auburn University vet school. So I went to Auburn University as well for a few semesters for mechanical engineering. And so he and I just kind of hit it off. But even without that connection, like Tom, he will talk to anybody. He will answer any question they have under the freaking sun. Like we went to dinner and I sat next to him. He and I think neither of us ate our food because we were just talking so much. So yeah, he's just a great guy, man. So I like I said, I can understand how you've kind of ended up where you're at. With that, with the benefit of that guidance from guys like him and people around you, like Alyssa and her husband and just all that. Like I think that definitely helped. But obviously, you've got a pretty good eye for nice things, because like I said, I think you've got more firepower in your racks in your females than most people do, and like their number one male that's like their go-to male.
Thank you, man.
So that's super exciting, man. So I just want to kind of review it in my head. What's your potential for your first clutch? So it's an Enchi clown female, leopard spot nose, yellow belly, het clown male, fire het clown male.
Correct.
Okay. So visual clowns with a combination of all those things in it. That's amazing, man.
Thank you.
Now you went and visited Kabilka's facility, right?
I did. Yeah, I've gone twice now. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, man. Just seeing I feel, he's definitely like the epitome of ball python.
Yeah, I mean, I think anybody would agree with that. Anybody that would have a tough time. Yeah. So tell me, what was that like? Just, for you, like, obviously I'm sure you had probably met him at shows prior to that, right? And maybe not, I don't know.
um, I'd seen him at shows, but I never like really spoke to him. He went to a
Yeah.
Repticon once
Okay.
in Atlanta, and I was just getting. That's the first day I bought my first ball python. I knew he was big, but I never like had spoken to him. But
Yeah.
so I think going to his place was definitely the first time I. So I went to the old facility that he
I was
had.
going to ask you. Yeah.
I did go to his old facility to pick up a snake, but he wasn't there. Chase was there, and he kind of gave me a tour.
Yeah.
Gave me a tour of the place. It's still unreal. Every bin you open up, it's just mind blown. you know, just everything he has. But then definitely going to his second facility. He did well for sure.
Yeah, what was that like in terms of things that he upgraded and things like that? Because I mean, I've seen both facilities like in a lot of videos and stuff like that, but like how much bigger is the new place compared to his old one?
It's a lot bigger. It's definitely a lot bigger. I'm sure you've seen when you first pull in the gates.
Yeah,
The gates.
yeah,
So that already
that's
itself just,
that's
that's pretty
amazing, man.
insane. And then you
Yeah,
just drive up a driveway. And the beauty of it, it's just walking distance.
yeah, he's got an
From his.
amazing property.
He
Yeah,
does. And I would say it's like at least 3 times bigger,
yeah,
if not more.
that's
So
so wild.
yeah, yeah. We
That's
need to
amazing, man.
we need to get you down here, man.
I know, man. I know. I was actually I mentioned that to him the last time I talked to him, but like I didn't I didn't like ask him if I could come by or whatever. My thought is the next snake that I buy from him, I'm gonna probably go down and pick up in person. I've got this weird thing, and I know it's not a necessity, but it's just the way that I like to operate. Where like I try not to ask much from anybody that I haven't really like at least done something for in return. You know what I mean? Like if that makes any sense. I like with Garrett, that was how I became Garrett's friend. Was like I was buying animals from him. You know what I mean? Like, and that that to me makes me made me feel like okay, I feel better about asking for some of your time. I feel better about asking for some of your help. Yeah, so I tried to buy an animal from Justin actually, like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and literally it was sold. Like he sold it 10 minutes after he posted it. I think he said. So I was like, damn it, like because I was like, man, I was gonna roll that in and be like, hey, I'll just come pick it up from you. But are you going to the Atlanta Repticon this weekend?
So I work. I work those nights. I think I'm gonna try.
Yeah, I mean that's tough.
Go before work at least an hour or two, and just go straight to work after that. But I'm gonna try to make it. I don't know yet.
Yeah, I've heard for those who don't know, like I've heard the Atlanta Repticon. I've heard it referred to as like the Tenley of the Southeast kind of thing. Like I've heard it's like as far as the Southeast goes, like it's a really great show.
Yeah, I would say so. It's big in ball pythons. They got a lot of good breeders out here. And I still haven't produced nothing. So I'm new to everyone. And Bob, he had like a Thanksgiving dinner. And he let me come over for that. And it was just kind of like brought me in. I feel like that was really cool of him. And but I would say it's definitely like a family out there to them.
Yeah,
for sure.
No, for sure. I mean, that's how I felt at Arlington. And like I said, I think that got me almost just even more excited about the hobby. In the sense that, like I said, for anybody that hasn't had the opportunity to go, whether it's an NARBC show or just like I think just really any big show, it's a lot of fun to me just to see everybody interact with one another and like you said, man, like I really got just a huge family vibe from almost the entire group of everybody, all of the people that were at Arlington and I think probably that COVID had something to do with that too, because it's like there probably would have normally been a lot of other vendors there, and so it's like the people that did show up were like the old heads that are always there every year, and like nothing's going to stop them from being there. So it was like everybody knew everybody, everybody was buying from each other and, talking trash to one another and talking about where everybody's going to go to dinner and all that. So it was a lot of fun, man.
Yeah.
So what was your first ball python?
So it was a super pastel het clown. I got her from, I got her from Steve's Morphs. Have you heard of him?
Okay. I have. I've heard the name. I think somebody was just talking about him did Billy might have mentioned, or somebody might have mentioned something on Billy's podcast the other night about him. I feel like.
Yeah. He's in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
He comes up to Georgia a lot. He does pretty much every Atlanta show, and he's like, I think Bob and him call each other cousins.
That's what I was just gonna say.
You
He's
know.
he's the guy that's really close with Bob. I thought.
Yes,
Yeah.
pretty much, man. So they yeah, they're always doing stuff together, and I picked it up from him. So yeah.
That's not a bad first snake. So she's how long ago was that?
2 years? One or no?
Okay.
No, I'd say about a year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
year and a half.
She's probably not quite ready to go for you.
No, not yet, man. No.
So that female that you have, that Inchi clown, did you pick her up? I'm guessing probably not as an adult, or did you pick her up as an adult, sub-adult?
I picked sub-adult. Yeah, I got this girl sub-adult at about 1,000 grams. Yeah.
Who'd you get her from?
Nussman Reptiles.
I know that name. Yeah.
Yeah. Will Nussman. I think he's in Maryland.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of nice animals. He's got a lot of blackhead stuff he's working on.
I like the blackhead stuff. Do you have any blackhead?
I don't.
Yeah.
I do like it though.
Yeah. I think hell, it's perfect. That poster's right behind you.
Yeah.
I really want to, and especially me working with Ultramel, man. I really want to get as much of the dark stuff going as I can.
Yeah, for sure. Blackhead clowns are pretty insane.
Yeah, I think it goes well with pretty much everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's good stuff, man. So what are you thinking is your next big pickup?
I don't know, man. I'm kind of, I think I'm definitely wanting to do Desert Ghost Clown. Get some combos going with that. I'm just kind of waiting right now, to see if anybody can, make some double heads with some other, with
Like
some
other codoms mixed in.
Yeah, other codoms, because we see what the Desert Ghost Clown looks like, and I just feel, instead of just making more of those, if we can kind of take it up a level, I don't know, throw some other gene we haven't really thought about mixed in with that. I think that's kind of what it's about, just trying to evolve it.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, hell, again, like even something like Blackhead, like a Blackhead Desert Ghost Clown, like that would be, I think, would be really crazy. See, I haven't really talked too much publicly about this. My worry with Desert Ghost is that I feel like it's really pushing us back towards making yellow snakes again. Do you agree with that?
I think so.
Like, do you think? And the reason, let me preface by saying, I don't think that's 100% of what's going to happen with it. Like, if you have Desert Ghost, it's just going to make yellow snakes. What I mean is that I think that if you don't use it in the right way with the right combos, I think that you're going to end up with just these bright yellow snakes again.
But like, yes and no. But because like you look at it as single gene Desert Ghost, it's a different type of yellow compared to.
Right. I mean, just like that one, that single gene one that you just had out. Will you pull that out again if you don't mind? I just want to.
No, you're fine.
Just for while we're talking about it. Do you have any other visual Desert Ghost stuff in your rack?
I do.
Can you like pull something else out and just kind of show them side by side?
So So let's see here.
Sorry, no, I'm making you work.
No, you're good, man. So that's a single gene Desert Ghost.
Yep.
This is a pastel chocolate Desert Ghost female.
Okay, so see, like it's just clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've always liked the highlights on the alien heads, the white highlights that you get with the Desert Ghost.
Yeah.
And they're like, and they are. I mean, I love them in the single gene, and I like them in combos too. I just, like I said, I do worry that it kind of pushes things towards just being the same yellow color, like Justin Kabilka talks about, started happening in like the early to mid 2000s, and everybody, and also it's different because there was so fewer genes. There were fewer genes that they were working with, so there was only so much you could do, I guess. Like you could put super pastel into everything, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And that, kind of does the same thing, just kind of makes everything muted and yellow.
Yeah, and it's everyone, a lot of people don't like pastel, but pastel and Desert Ghost, they just go together.
Yeah,
You know,
and it's funny that they came up because Marshall Mendez says the same thing about Ultramel. He said he thinks that you know Pastel is like one of the kind of necessary pieces in his mind for Ultramel.
hmm.
I think I told you, or maybe I didn't, that I got a Pastel clown, 100% het
You
Ultramel
did.
male
Yeah,
on the
you
way.
did.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm excited about that,
Oh, I
man.
bet, man. That's sweet.
Elliot, yeah, I can see you in the chat. I'm not sure. Maybe if we're having some lagging issues, I've got YouTube pulled up on my other screen, and I keep seeing it refresh. I don't know if that's my internet connection. I apologize if you guys are having issues with it. I am gonna have to look into getting some fiber internet or something here at the house, I guess. Kaler's Aquatics, I appreciate you being here, man. New subscriber, thank you so much. That means a lot. So other species besides ball pythons and bearded dragons, do you have anything?
So my dad, my dad ended up, my dad kind of picked up on this as well. Just reptiles. He likes them. He won't
Yeah.
spend $1 on them, but well, I take that back. He got into turtles.
Okay.
He got into like red.
That's right. I knew that you had turtles, or somebody had turtles, because I think I remember seeing you post about them.
Yeah, he ended up picking up some turtles, and I like them too. I help him take care of them, but he got kind of into the like red-eared slattermorphs, albinos, and he just picked up some pink side bellies, albinos and hets as well. So he just has them in the house. Just kind of, they're neat, they're neat.
I love them, man.
Yeah.
We were talking about this on Bradley and I on one of the streams that he and I just did. I think they're neat, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Elliot, I think it's just a little bit quiet. There's not a ton of people in here this evening. I think there's like 4 other streams going on right now, so there's probably not a whole lot of activity going on. Yeah, no, I mean, like I told you, man, when we scheduled this, like I was genuinely just excited to kind of have a chat with you and just kind of get a handle on where you're at and where your goals are. Like like I said, I think you and I are just very much kind of on the same wavelength with like we were talking about some investing stuff and things like that. So let's talk a little bit about that, because I want to talk a little bit about just kind of your outlook on things, man, because I feel like you and I, like I said, we're on the same page, but I feel like we also kind of look at things a little different than the way a lot of other people in the hobby do. So correct me if I'm wrong. You're the first of your family to actually go to college, right?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, that's super exciting.
Thanks, man.
So so like for you, outside of like stepping outside of the hobby and the reptile stuff, like I know that we've had that conversation around just your goals for life and like your goals for yourself, like in terms of investing, and do you kind of look at the ball python stuff as a little bit of a springboard towards that to kind of help you get to that next step?
Pretty much, and like you said, a lot of people don't like talking about it like that, kind of like it from a business point of view, because they're animals, and but I do kind of see it as a business, just pretty much I've seen the potential of money it can make you, and I've always loved them. I've always had them, and Ozzy talks about it all the time, just how why is it bad that we can make money off of something that we love? Isn't that what all this is about?
Right. Yeah, and that's just it. And yeah, I mean, and I know there's nobody in the comments right now that would ever have anything negative to say about that. But for anybody that does watch this after the fact, like I wouldn't have brought Paco on here, and I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you guys if he and I both weren't the type of people that, like, if we never made 1 red cent off of the snakes that we have, like, we wouldn't really be upset, outside of the fact that we probably wouldn't have spent as much money on the animals that we have, but I would still keep snakes, even if I never made any money off of them. I love the animals, and I love the just keeping them, and the interaction that I get, and just everything that I get back from it. I even love like cleaning tubs and stuff. There's something I don't know, to be said about just like there's something calming about it. Just having something to take care of. And it's nice coming through and knowing that your collection's clean and your animals are happy and healthy. And I definitely think there's something to that.
I mean, like, if you knew how much money just throughout my years I've spent on bearded dragons, I'm in so much debt.
You had some crazy bearded dragons, right? Like some pretty wild, like.
So I'm slowly getting rid of them, man. I do still enjoy them, but with me working nights, everything's just falling back on my girlfriend. And honestly, if it weren't for her, they probably wouldn't be living, just to be completely honest.
Yeah.
She's the one
Yeah.
that kind of takes care of everything, and I don't think it's fair for her to kind of, to just kind of brush all this stuff off on her. She loves them as well, but
Yeah.
I'm just downsizing, is
Yeah,
all
no,
pretty
that makes
much.
perfect sense, man.
So
What was the just because I'm genuinely curious about it? What was the bloodline? There was a bloodline that you had. Was it like it wasn't German giants? Was it? It was something else.
no, so it was a Eastern bearded dragon.
Okay.
Yeah, it was an Eastern bearded dragon. I used to have the pure ones. I slowly started kind of selling those off. I was kind of in a rough time with
Yeah,
college and
but
classes and stuff.
those were like kind of a big deal when you had them. I mean, they still are. I would guess.
Any anybody that has or claims to have Eastern bearded dragons right now, they were brought in illegally. Just simple as that. When I got them, so here's, a lot of people don't know this, but so I got five. So, okay, so let me break it down. Pretty much, these are just super rare to find. I'm talking about these are literally the holy grail of bearded dragons right now. I had, I think I had, it took me about 2 years to find them. I had them imported from Italy, then England. So there was probably 10 in the whole United States. I had seven of them.
Wow.
So I had seven
Yeah,
of them.
that's why I wanted you to talk about it, because I thought I remembered there was like a bloodline or something that you were like one of the only people that had them, and I just remember you were talking to your buddy at Arlington, like he was even still excited about him, even though like you didn't even have them anymore. Like he was still just like, I can't believe you had those things. Like,
Yeah, but that's my good friend Ryan. He's
yeah,
Pet Supplies Unlimited.
yeah,
Um, he got pretty big, man, as far as just, he kind of took that leap of faith and started his own business, and yeah, he's been killing it,
yeah. That's great, man.
doing all that.
I love to see stuff like that.
Yeah.
It revives your faith in again, just in the hobby for anybody that's got doubts. It just takes hard work and like you said, just kind of going all in. And because he had a huge table at Arlington.
Yeah, man. In Daytona, he was like the main sponsor for it. Like
Yeah.
I'm telling you, he's like a little bit younger than me, and he's already running a full company. It's crazy.
And he didn't even have any help at his table, did he? I think he was running the whole thing by himself. He might have had a couple
He
people.
he had employees. He has employees.
Okay.
Yeah, he does. But
Okay.
he's a cool guy. I haven't spoken to him in a while, but we keep in touch.
Yeah, he seemed like he was super nice when we were there. I went by his table a few times even before I realized that you knew him. So
Yeah.
no, that's great, man. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm going to kind of catch up on the chat. Yeah,
Oh
Chris.
no, you're good, man.
Chris said, "Oh, I'm not going to be rich in a year." No, probably not. It could happen, but you'd have to spend a lot of freaking money. Like,
Who is that?
Chris Sexton, he said, "What? I'm not going to be rich in a year? Damn it!"
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll go from if you want to stop being a millionaire really quick, or if you want to become a millionaire, start off being a billionaire and then invest in ball pythons.
Yeah.
But you'll make it back eventually if you buy the right stuff. So it's just one of those things, man. So dream species. Besides, obviously we know you were into the bearded dragons, we know you're into ball pythons, but like if you could keep, one thing, what do you think it would be?
Eastern indigo for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I like those. They're illegal here though in Georgia.
Yeah, I was gonna say Georgia, man. Georgia's got some weird laws about like corn snakes and stuff too,
Yeah,
don't they?
they're illegal here.
That is so strange.
Yeah.
Of all the things, but I guess I don't know. I don't know what the thought process is there. I mean, obviously, I understand the indigos because it's a native species there in Georgia, and so they don't want people harvesting them out of the wild and trying to sell them into the pet trade or whatever. But it's still weird to me, except that there's such a disconnect there in terms of you would think that they would want people to breed them in captivity. Like as long as you've got your paperwork in order and stuff, you would think. But I guess it's just. They think it's just easier for them to just blackball the whole thing, and then that way they know if you have one, they don't have to check paperwork or any of that. They know it's illegal.
Yeah, Alyssa has one. You were there, weren't you, when she picked that up?
Yeah. I think she. I don't know.
Well, somebody gave it to her. So I don't know how it worked out.
I think it was. it was gifted, or
Yeah.
I know hers is legal. That's all.
Yeah, for sure.
That's all I know specifically. But yeah, she does have one. It's great. As far as I know, the last time I saw, she was feeding it silver sides, and she was telling me that apparently they are just as gross as she was warned they are. Apparently they can mess up their enclosures worse than a retic, is what I understand. So
yeah, last time I went over, I went like last week. It had grown significantly. It's getting really big.
It was a tiny little, it looked like a little king snake when I saw it last. So
yeah, pretty much.
I'm sure it's gotten big.
What about you, man? What dream snake would you, or species?
Honestly, like I don't really have much that's like a dream species for me. I love the super dwarves and the dwarves. Like I've always had a thing for retics, like since I was a kid. I've just thought they were really cool. So I get a lot of pleasure out of those, but like I'd love to have like some kind of like a really wild looking, green tree python or something like that. Like the calicos are wild, or like the blues are crazy. But that's something like, I'll say that's a dream species for me, just because I'll probably never be able to afford one of the ones I would actually like to have. Yeah. So I would probably say something like that, or like I don't know, some kind of a big lizard. Like, I wouldn't say like water monitors, but maybe some sort of a monitor. I like monitors a lot. Yeah, like green trees are nice, stuff like that. It's hard to say.
Yeah. Hold on.
Hey, Alyssa. Yeah, Elliot was asking for your social media. Elliot, I think it's all down in the description. Let me know if it's not. I know I grabbed his Instagram. He does have a YouTube channel as well. Paco, do you have your own like link for YouTube, or did you not hit the subscriber count yet? I don't know.
I didn't. What do you mean? Like, did I put a link down? Or?
Yeah, well, no. I did all that. I just mean, like, did you create a custom URL yet, or is it still just like whatever YouTube assigns you? Like, is it youtube.com/Paco Miranda Pythons, or is it?
I think so. I'm not even sure.
Okay. No big deal, Elliot. I'll put it down in the description, Elliot. So if you want to like check back on that later, I'll throw it down there so that everybody can get a link over to it. I think you've got some stuff on there. Like, you've got a video from your tour at Kavilka's place.
I do. Yeah. That was pretty insane.
Yeah, I need to go back and watch that one. I haven't watched it yet.
So it's kind of crazy because he actually let me like record. You know how they say like he has a lot of like kind of top secret stuff he's working on. He was really open about just letting me just kind of film whatever, and I did. I did. So.
Well, that's the thing. I think people think or like to believe, that he's got, just racks and racks and racks of all this stuff that he doesn't talk about, and he's got all this top secret stuff. Like, Justin's very open about the stuff he has. Like, all you got to do is ask him.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Like, I think there were some people talking about, because he's got they call it, I think he's calling it the Peach Project or something like that.
Yeah.
I think he's working that, but again, like, he's told people that, like, it's nothing is secretive down there. It's the same thing with Garrett from Reach Out Reptiles. Like, everybody thinks that he's got like all this secret stuff going on, and he's got some stuff in his racks that like he doesn't talk about heavily, but that's mostly just because it's like they're holdbacks. Like, he's not going to sell them. He can't produce more yet. They're not. So it's like, why am I going to talk about it if I don't have any available? And I think Justin's kind of the same way. Like, until they're ready to go, like. Yeah. Jeremy from Cura works with a lot of the old world colubrids, and they're about as close as you can get to an indigo snake without actually getting an indigo. So
never heard of them.
You take a look. Yeah, he works with like Patias and stuff like that. Jeremy can kind of let us know in the chat if he wants to, a little bit about his stuff. But he's got some pretty amazing projects that he's working over there with those things, man. Now I will say Jeremy does have some super secret stuff that he's keeping all to himself. But again, it's the same thing. Like, it's just because like stuff's got to get proven out, or stuff's got to, you got to produce it before you can really get excited about talking about it.
And that's kind of the beauty of it, because once you're at that level, that's what keeps people on their toes, and if just someone produces something and it's just mind blowing and. And I feel like just not showing off everything, that's what keeps people interested for sure.
Yeah, and he and I actually talked about that just briefly. We it's not like I talked to him for any length of time, but he did mention that, like, he's like, you have to, I have to talk about enough, to keep people interested and to make sure people know that I am still working on new stuff and there is exciting stuff coming. But he's like, at the same time, I can't talk about every little thing that I'm doing because, first of all, the market would just go nuts. Because he tries to be very aware, and he is very aware of the fact that anytime he talks about anything, all of a sudden the prices skyrocket, which is going to piss a lot of people off. It'll be great for some people and not so much for others.
Pretty much.
But again, like he said, he's like, I don't want to talk about something if I don't even understand exactly what's going on yet with it, with a certain combination. Like, I'm not going to bring it up to you guys and have a bunch of people go out and spend a bunch of money on it just to find out that, well, it's not actually as great as I thought it was.
Yeah, for sure.
It's hard to say, man. I don't know. I think people get a little bit too upset, or just like they have a lot higher expectations than they should. I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but yeah. Oh. Spider-tailed horned vipers from Afghanistan. I don't know anything about that. That sounds crazy.
I just found out how to look at the comments. That's all.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because I was gonna say, and our comment stream on the StreamYard is not 100% in real time. There's probably about a 20-second delay. I always have YouTube open in a second window, and it helps me to kind of know what's going on in the stream. Your camera looks a lot better than mine, which is frustrating. I don't know what's going on. I think we talked about that yesterday. I'm so irritated with my whole setup right now, but
I see you fine.
Oh, I know. It looks great on the yard. That's what's frustrating about looking at it on YouTube. It's all fun.
Gotcha. Yeah, you look fine.
It'll be fine.
So yeah, man.
So what do you think is what's kind of your goal with Paco Miranda pythons? I mean, what do you think your next steps is? I mean, obviously, I know you're not really producing anything yet. Like you may have one clutch that'll be coming, but what's your goal long term? Like, is it something that you want to do full time? Is it something that you want to just kind of have as a pet project, or?
I don't know yet. So, I've thought about maybe taking this full time one. That's years. I'm talking about years into the future, But I don't know yet. I'm still at that point where, I still want to work, make as much money as I can right now. Maybe buy a house, and just keep this going as long as I can. I'm not really too sure yet.
Yeah. So in terms of with the snakes, I mean, is your thought when you do produce stuff? Because I mean, again, like you've got a shot at producing some pretty high end stuff kind of right out of the gate, which is awesome. What are your thoughts there? Like, do you? And this isn't like I don't mean this to sound negative or whatever, but like, do you have concerns or whatever about selling those babies? I doubt it, because I feel like you've got a good enough network of people that know you down there, and you're in a good market, and in the Atlanta area has got a great market for those snakes. I'm just kind of curious, like what's your thoughts on that? Because I feel like that's something that people worry about a lot. And sometimes that's founded, sometimes it's not.
Yeah. And, I've thought about it, as well. Just like, oh, holy crap, I just spent this amount of money on this animal. Am I ever going to make that back, So it's just something, we're going to have to just find out when we get there, From my experience in the bearded dragon community, if you don't, your reputation in any hobby in reptiles is key, pretty much.
Sure.
Just being able to, if something goes wrong with an animal, just being able to just give the full refund back. I think that
you just make it right, however you can.
Exactly.
Whatever needs to happen, depending on circumstances.
Pretty much. So right now, man, I'm just at the point where I'm just trying to, just enjoy the process of it, and we don't know yet. We'll see when we get there, but
I think we'll be fine. Like I said, the only reason I even posed the question was just, again, for those people that, like I said, I know that's something that gets talked about a lot, in terms of like, oh, you better, because it's like a double-edged sword. Like, I feel like there's so many people that talk about it like, oh, well, you're not going to be able to make money in these ball pythons unless you spend a ton of money. And then they'll talk out of the other side of their mouth by saying, well, be careful doing that, because, if you start producing $5,000 snakes your first year, nobody's going to want to buy them from you. So it's like, well, what are people supposed to think? How are people supposed to feel about getting into this, So I was, like I said, I just kind of wanted your thoughts on that.
Yeah. No, and I honestly don't even think it matters whether it's high end or low end. I think it's the way you present yourself. The way you present your company, your business, whatever you want to call it, hobby.
Yeah.
But and just if you do end up vending at shows, it's how you treat people that come up. You're not just sent behind behind your booth, just texting on your phone
Yeah.
whenever someone's trying to start a conversation.
I think we talked about
That's why Bob does so well.
yeah.
Just literally what you said. That's why he does so well. You come up, he don't even know you, and he's acting like he's known you his whole life. And
Yeah.
that's why he does so well. So
Yeah.
that speaks a lot. Whether it's high end, because Bob has $300 snakes ranging up to whatever, and he has no problem selling them.
Yeah. I mean, this was,
You
like I
know,
said, the first time I met Bob was probably, I don't know, 5 years ago or something like that, or 4 years ago. Like it was like when I was first getting into the hobby. And I think I was talking to him about like some $100 snake or something like that, and again, it wasn't like, we didn't even know if we were going to buy anything. And I was very like clear with him about that. Like, we don't really know what we're doing, but like, I kind of like that or whatever. But, and that's what I mean. Like, it wasn't a big sales thing. But he was just as interested in standing there and talking to me for 40 minutes as he was anybody else that walked up to his table. So yeah, no, I completely agree. We talked about that at Arlington a little bit, you and I, like walking around, and there'd be people like I would go out of my way to say hey to, like, hey, how are y'all doing? Like, how's the show going?
yeah.
They wouldn't even like look up from their phone or, like,
And then also, it comes back to, a vendor isn't going to talk to somebody that's not going to buy anything for an hour if they at least haven't done,